अंतर्ज्योतिः बाहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परा ज्योतिरेव ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः शिवोऽस्म्यहम्. I am the supreme light of awareness, illuminating the outer world of objects, inner world of thoughts, and deep sleep state. I am divine light by the nature of auspiciousness. I am Shiva Swarupi. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri, Gurave Namaha. He who guides you on the righteous path is a Guru. When a parent or teacher or friend or an animal or bird or plant conveys message of righteousness, they embody a Guru. A Guru's knowledge encompasses the creation, maintenance and transformation at all times. A Guru represents the voice of the Creator himself in showing the righteous path for all beings at all times. Voice of the divine is revealed through the message of the Guru. Om Akhanda Mandala Akaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. A Guru can guide us to the supreme knowledge of that which pervades all the living and non-living beings in the entire universe, namely Brahma. I salute to such a Guru. Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadachara Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Beginning with Narayana, through Adi Shankaracharya in between, and up to my own preceptor, I bow with reference to the entire tradition of preceptors. Beginning with Sadashiva through Adi Shankaracharya, in between and up to my own preceptor, I bow with reference to the entire tradition of preceptors.
Thank you very much, Charanji. Welcome to all the Divine Atma Jyotis. Hari Om. So, today is our meditation day. And today, so there are two kinds of Vedantic meditation that Prabhuji has given. There is Antarnididhyasa and Bahir Nididhyasa. So today is the first Bahir Nididhyasa. So we will go into that now. But before going, are there any immediate questions that anybody needs to bring up? Does anyone feel like there is any question that needs to be brought up immediately? Okay. If there are no questions, then I'll share my screen with Prabhuji's guided meditation video. So let's go through that. And after we complete it, if necessary, we will have a short discussion. Is that okay? All right. I'm just sharing my screen, just a moment.
Namaste and welcome all of you for today's session of meditation. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಯೋತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಈ ದಿನದ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. Today's meditation session is Nididhyasa. Nididhyasa is the Vedantic meditation. ಈ ದಿನ ವೇದಾಂತಿಕ್ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ನಿಧಿಧ್ಯಾಸದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವೇದಾಂತಿಕ್ ಧ್ಯಾನಕ್ಕೆ ವೇದಾಂತಿಕ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ ವೇದಾಂತಿಕ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ leads to samadhi. It's called ಜ್ಞಾನ samadhi or absorption in the reality. Gnana samadhi. There are various types of samadhi. Yogic samadhi. Okay. This is Gnana Samadhi. With the Gnana, you enter into a Samadhi, absorption in the reality. In Gnana Samadhi, this is called Bahir Samadhi or external Samadhi. Just 1 minute. Gnana Samadhi is 2 types. Antar Samadhi and Bahir Samadhi. The inner absorption and outer absorption. Gnana Samadhi li 2 ವಿಧ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮತ್ತು ಹೊರಗಡೆ. ಈಗ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ. We'll meditate on the external samadhi. The external samadhi has 3 stages, 3 ಹಂತಗಳು. ರೂಪ ಅನುವಿದ್ ಬಾಹ್ಯ samadhi. ರೂಪ ಅನುವಿದ್, that means with the form external absorption. ರೂಪ ಅನುವಿದ್ savikalpa ಬಾಹ್ಯ samadhi. Then shabda anuvid savikalpa samadhi. Then nirvikalpa samadhi. These are the 3 stages in the bahya samadhi. Bahya samadhi ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಹಂತಗಳು. ರೂಪ ಅನುವಿದ್ savikalpa samadhi, ಶಬ್ದ ಅನುವಿದ್ savikalpa samadhi ಮತ್ತು nirvikalpa samadhi. There are three stages in the external samadhi, bahya samadhi. So let us take up step by step. In Rupa Anuvid, Bahya Samadhi is meditation on the reality in the outer world. Bahya Prapanchadalli a Satyavanna Kanva Riti. Okay. So in the external world, the reality is present as existence, Astitva. The inner world, reality is present as Sakshi. The inner world, the reality is called Sakshi, and external world reality is called existence, Astitva. So, Antaranga Prapanchadalli Satyakke Sakshi anta helodu, Bahya Prapanchadalli Satyakke Astitva anta helodu. So, let us, when you focus on the external samadhi, you focus on the existence aspect of reality, Astitva ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತನೆ. ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ how is that? How do you do? Everything exists. The sun exists, the planet, the moon exists, the earth exists, I exist. So focus on the existence, isness aspect of reality in the external samadhi. ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಸಮಾಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಚಂದ್ರ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನಕ್ಷತ್ರ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನಾನು ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಇರುವಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. Okay, so the two places where you can focus on Bahya Samadhi is Ajna Chakra or Sahasrara. Ajna Chakra ಅಥವಾ ಸಹಸ್ರಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಗಮನ ಇಡಬೇಕು. Your attention should be on the Ajna or Sahasrara. Now I guide you step by step through to 3 stages. 3 ಹಂತಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ. Close your eyes. ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Gently become aware of the breath. ಉಸಿರಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗಮನ ತನ್ನಿ, ಉಸಿರಿನ ಕಡೆ ಗಮನ ಹರಿಸಿ. Breathe in, breathe out. As you become breathe in, breathe out, mind is calming down. ಉಸಿರನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಶಾಂತ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. Be aware of breathe in and out. ಉಸಿರಿನ ಕಡೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗಮನ ಇರಲಿ. Gently take your attention to the forehead center, Adna, or top of the head, Sahasrara. At the crown center, Sahasrara or Adna. ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗಮನವನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಣೆಯ ಮಧ್ಯ ಆಜ್ಞಾ ಚಕ್ರದ ಕಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ನೆತ್ತಿಯ ಭಾಗ ಸಹಸ್ರಾರದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. Gently breathe in, breathe out into the center. Take your attention to the objects of the world as if you are looking through the Adna or Sahasrara. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗಮನ ನಾನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಿರುವ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ಆಜ್ಞಾ ಅಥವಾ ಸಹಸ್ರಾರ ಮೂಲಕ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಭಾವನೆ. Let us take our attention to the sun. ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗಮನ ಹೋಗಲಿ. Look at the sun through Adna or Sahasrara as if you are looking at sun. ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗಮನ ಹೋಗಲಿ. ಆಜ್ಞಾ ಚಕ್ರದ ಮೂಲಕ ನೋಡಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸಹಸ್ರಾರದ ಮೂಲಕ ನೋಡಿದ ಹಾಗೆ. Sun is the brightest object. ಸೂರ್ಯ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಾನವಾದ ಶಕ್ತಿ. Sun is very large. ಸೂರ್ಯ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡವನು. Sun is bright. ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಯವಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. Let us focus on existence aspect of sun. ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ. Ignore the form of sun. Focusing on the form of sun is called Rupa Anuvid Savikalpa Samadhi. ಸೂರ್ಯನ ರೂಪದ ಮೇಲೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡುವುದು ರೂಪ ಅನುವಿದ್ ಸವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು. Let us take our attention to the existence aspect of sun. We are going into Shabda Anuvid Savikalpa Samadhi. Means we are focusing on the Vedantic teaching Shabda. ಈಗ ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಕಡೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡೋಣ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಶಬ್ದ ಅನುವಿದ್ ಸವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ವೇದಾಂತದ ವಾಕ್ಯದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. Our attention is on existence. Sun exists. ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. Moon exists. The earth exists. I exist. ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಚಂದ್ರ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಭೂಮಿ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. What is common to all of us is existence, ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ. ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿರುವುದು ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ. Let us focus on existence which is common to all. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿರುವ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗಮನ ಹರಿಸೋಣ. Existence cannot be seen. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. The form of existence is seen as sun, moon, earth and myself. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ರೂಪ ಸೂರ್ಯ, ಚಂದ್ರ, ಭೂಮಿ, ನಾನು ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತೇನೆ. Existence is invisible. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಕಾಣುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. I am the existence. I exist. ನಾನು ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. I am existence. ನನ್ನ ಇರುವಿಕೆಯ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡಿ. Existence is unbroken. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಅಖಂಡ. Existence is called Sat. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಸತ್ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯುತ್ತೇವೆ. Existence was there in the past, in the present and in the future. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಭೂತಕಾಲ, ಭವಿಷ್ಯತ್ ಕಾಲ, ವರ್ತಮಾನ ಕಾಲ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇದೆ. Existence never changes. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. Existence may appear in different forms. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೂಪಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. But existence itself does not change. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. Existence is eternal. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಶಾಶ್ವತ. I am that existence. ನಾನು ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ. Existence is akhanda, ananta, sanatana. Existence is unbroken, infinite and eternal. Astitva akhanda, ananta, sanatana. Akhanda, ananta, Sanatana Brahma. Existence is unbroken, infinite, eternal Brahma Swarupa. I am Astitva Akhanda Ananta Sanatana Brahma Swarupa. I am that existence. Nanu Astitva. Hold on to this thought. I am existence. Akhanda Ananta Sanatana Brahma Shivoham. I am of the nature of Shivaswarupa, pure consciousness. Hold on to this thought. ಈ ಯೋಚನೆಯನ್ನ ದೃಢವಾಗಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಖಂಡ ಅನಂತ ಸನಾತನ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ. Existence has no birth, no death. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಾವಿಲ್ಲ. As existence, I am not born, I don't die. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಾವಿಲ್ಲ. Hold this thought of I am existence, eternal, pure, silent. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾಂತ ನಾನು, ಅಖಂಡ ನಾನು, ಅನಂತ ನಾನು. Hold this thought and stay silently. ಶಾಂತವಾಗಿರಿ. Then you will enter into the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Bahya Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You will enter into ಈ ಯೋಚನೆಯಿಂದ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿಗೆ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಮಾಡಿ. If you get any thoughts, again hold the thought of I am existence, eternal, ಅಖಂಡ, ಅನಂತ, ಸನಾತನ. ಪುನಃ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಯೋಚನೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಪುನಃ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಖಂಡ, ಅನಂತ, ಸನಾತನ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ನಾನು. I am all that exists. I am one with the totality. ನಾನು ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು, ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು. ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಶ್ವದಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು. ಈ ಭಾವನೆಯಿಂದ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಯೋಚನೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಪುನಃ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. If any thought comes, again remember and enter into silence. I am one with the sun, I am one with the moon, I am one with the earth, I am one with the wind, I am one with the fire. ಸೂರ್ಯ, ಚಂದ್ರ, ನಕ್ಷತ್ರ, ಭೂಮಿ, ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಒಂದು. ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ, as existence. Gently bring your attention back to the body. ಶರೀರದ ಕಡೆ ಗಮನ ಬರಲಿ. Become aware of your breath. ಉಸಿರಿನ ಕಡೆ ಗಮನ ಬರಲಿ. Repeat after me. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಸತೋಮ ಸದ್ಗಮಯ ತಮಸೋಮ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರ್ಗಮಯ ಮೃತ್ಯೋರ್ಮ ಅಮೃತಂ ಗಮಯ. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಪೂರ್ಣಮದಃ ಪೂರ್ಣಮಿದಂ ಪೂರ್ಣಾತ್ ಪೂರ್ಣಮುದಚ್ಯತೆ ಪೂರ್ಣಸ್ಯ ಪೂರ್ಣಮಾದಾಯ ಪೂರ್ಣಮೇವಾವಶಿಷ್ಯತೆ. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ನಾನೆಂಬುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ. ಈ ದೇಹ ಮನಬುದ್ಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ. ಸಚಿದಾನಂದಾತ್ಮ ಶಿವನಾಮ್ನಾನಿ. ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am pure consciousness. Shivaswarupi. Atmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Satyadarshanam. Gently rub both of your hands, both of your palms. Give warm to the eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Hope all of you are able to do meditation. Any questions? Any questions? Any feedback? Was it peaceful? Yeah, one by one after one. Nupurji, yes, you want to say something?
No, just that it was very peaceful and very good.
Okay, very good.
No questions.
Very good.
Guruji Sharda.
Hi, Sharda.
Guruji, idರಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಶಬ್ದ ಅನುಭವಿತು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಗುರು.
ಶಬ್ದ ಅನುಭವಿತು ನಾನು whatever I am talking, no, I'm explaining Vedantic teaching. See, the whole purpose of Vedantic teaching is not listening to lectures. Those teachings you have to bring it into your memory when you are meditating. Manana ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Then you have to go to silence.
Okay,
right? So typically what will happen when you sit for meditation, the mind will be full of junk. Lot of thoughts will come. Husband, wife, family, office. So instead of that, you have to hold on to the teachings of Vedanta so that mind becomes pure thoughts. Then you go into silence. Okay. Anybody else? Nupurji? Sorry, Achalaji? Yeah, Ram Prakash? Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Dhanando, ready? Okay, very good. Okay, Vasu, you wanted to say something?
Illa Prabhuji, clarify, the Nirvikalpa is the silent state.
Yeah, Nirvikalpa is silent state. You cannot go into silent state suddenly. First you start with the form, then you use the Vedantic teaching to make your mind pure, then you go into silence. Okay?
ನಾವೇ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ
Hmm.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಶಬ್ದ ಅನುವಿದ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು?
ಇದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ವಿಡಿಯೋ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಓವರ್ ಎ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಏನು
ಮಾಡಬಹುದೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಏನು
ದಿನ ಇದೇ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಲ್ವಾ?
ಹಾ, ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್? ಯೆಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಪೀಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ಡ್.
Okay, very good. So anybody else has a question? Sheetal?
No, Prabhudeva. It is very nice.
Okay. So let us close for the day. So do you want the same meditation to be done every day?
I just wanted some of these questions to be heard and responses to be heard by all of you. Anybody wants to share anything? So how was your experiences? Maybe each one of you can share, what you felt. Was it easy? So you can talk about the process of the meditation itself. Were you able to sit through it? What you experienced? So maybe one by one. Shall we begin with Padma ji?
Yes, sir. So the process was easy because it is, I always, I'm comfortable with the guided meditation more than doing it myself. That is one thing. Second thing is, I finished at 7:30. I did not sit throughout till Prabhuji closed the session. Like there was some thoughts which I was not able to by the end. Like in between also there were a couple of times when the thoughts came and I went back to that same state like how Prabhuji told. But after 7:30 I couldn't, like actually I was trying really hard, I think at that time to go back, and I felt that that was not the right thing to do. I really tried because I think around maybe 10-15 minutes after he spoke about I am eternal and all that, there was a very peaceful time, and then the thoughts started coming. So once I was able to again go back to that state, but towards the end, like I couldn't. I felt like I was forcing myself. So then I just said all this closing prayers and I finished it. And when I saw the time, it was 7:30. So again, I was wondering that why I couldn't sit through till the end. That was my one thing. Also, I think that just like how when I do myself, I feel that I have sat for a long time like that. I think I kind of towards the end, I think I kind of wait for Prabhuji's voice, like when is he going to stop? Is he going to stop or something like that? Maybe that I should stop. I think that's the one block I felt. Otherwise, it's a very nice experience, sir. If that is something you could have all the time, nothing like it. That's what I felt. Yeah, absolutely. Like so much peace. Nothing is there. It's like empty. Everything is empty. So I like that thing.
So all of this now is like flowering. Flowering is not at all forceful. It is very gentle and very natural.
Yeah.
So no need to force to stop anything. Let it happen. It will gradually happen.
Yeah, but I'm very grateful, sir, for the experience. Yeah,
Very
I
nice.
don't know what else to say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kamaji?
Yeah, yeah, it was good. Yeah, just as Padmaji said, it was on and off for some time. And then, but one thing I have been slowly converging to one point that even if I do every day, I see that 30 is kind of a minute where it's like for me it's a threshold. After that, it becomes like forceful, which is really not enjoyable. I mean, that is true with other exercises also. That initially there's a little bit of starting problem, and then you come to a point where you really feel relaxed and you feel you're trying to kind of calm your mind, but after sometimes again it starts drifting, and then yeah, that is what I've been experiencing in all these sessions. Maybe I may have to keep trying it and slightly shift that from 30 minutes to 35 and so.
Yeah. So never any force. Nothing is force here. Very nice, Kamaji. Thank you. Prakashji?
Same with me today because I was a bit struggling today to focus. Had a bit of headache yesterday night, so that pain used to come back again and again to the focus rather than thoughtlessness. Yeah, and as Kamaji said, beyond 45 to 1 hour, it was becoming a bit of force. But when I opened my eyes, like I was tending to go back to that state. So yeah, that was my experience today.
Very good. So as the mind starts becoming silent, whatever are the latent impressions, they kind of feel like magnified. If there is a little bit of a physical pain, it may feel like magnified. So let it be. No need to judge that as well. Then that will also fade away. Very nice. Thank you, Prakash ji. How
Thank
about
you.
Saravanan ji?
Yeah, so the one thing I have noticed is I sit cross-legged in the floor, and like usually there is this physical sensation all the time. My back, I can feel it, or like after 20 minutes, my legs become numb, and then like I have to distract it and like get back to normalcy. That is so this thing keeps coming, but I just continue on. This is on the physical part, and when I was trying to focus on the Adna chakra, I feel heaviness actually. That if I try to, so I cannot focus more than like few seconds, and then I have to get back and like just be myself. Right. So that is the second thing. Whenever I try to focus that point, that heaviness I've felt. Yeah, and otherwise this mind awareness is also there. The thoughts come, and then like I keep going back to the words, and then the time passes on. Then again thought comes, again going back to the words. That thing also I've seen that it keeps happening, but it's like a journey. I'm just like watching all these things, and then like I finish it. Yeah, I haven't been in a completely lost silent session. Yeah. I don't know, maybe that may be happening in small gaps, but obviously when that happens, I'm not realizing it. I realize it when a thought comes, or when a part of my body like takes my attention.
See, that is the key, no? Total silence means absence of any other thoughts.
Yes, correct.
So, but when a thought comes, you're aware that you have been silent. Also, now you become aware of the body and other thoughts.
So I don't know how long I'm going into that.
It doesn't matter.
That,
It is
yeah, that's the interesting part.
not a question of measuring it. It is just a matter of making sure that whenever something is happening, you're going back into that thought.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
So
way,
the thing is, I'm trying to feel that, but then like I
uh,
can only feel it. It's like the deep sleep state. Only when I get back, I know that, oh, okay.
uh, through thought, it cannot be manufactured. That's why Guruji said, use the thought and let it open up. See, the thought is again the Vedantic thought is the key. Using that, it opens the door. What it opens, that is not being described.
Mm.
The word is important. Go back to that word and let that word do the magic.
Mm.
Very nice.
Yeah. So what about that heaviness? Like, is it when I try to focus on the chakra?
That is quite normal, depending upon
Uh-huh.
various kinds of impressions and other kind of thought processes.
Mm.
So no need to get into lot of analysis. Let,
Oh,
let it slide. Let it slide. Over a period of time, it will become lighter. Padmaji wants to say something related to that.
Yes, sir. I also used to experience whatever Saravanan-ji is sharing. So, like today, Prabhuji said that you can either focus on your Agnya Chakra or the Sahasrara, right? So, what I started doing is when you start focusing on your Sahasrara, it is easier. It doesn't feel heavy like that. Maybe you can try that. So now, like with a couple of times doing that, now I am able to do the Agnya Chakra.
oh,
I
okay.
think initially, I think you put too much, it's like forcing again, something like that, where the heaviness starts to come. So you can try that.
Okay.
So where there is a force, you will naturally feel some tension.
Mm.
So which means that there is a lot of exertion or has to happen, that kind of a thing. So that's why it's the flowering.
Mm.
Be very gentle. So like
Okay.
Padmaji suggested, see,
Okay.
how about Satyaji?
Yeah, it was peaceful, Vijayji. What I feel is normally we try to understand the mind as something which is constantly bothering us because thoughts keep coming. I'm unnecessarily getting distracted with the thoughts. I am not able to maintain silence. But in fact, a thought, the mind is the same tool which takes us outside, and the mind is the same tool which takes us inside also. So, holding on to the right thought, I think what I felt good today was that Prabhuji was answering a question about, some student asked. He said, you can see, suddenly you can't sit silently. Just because it is 6:30 in the morning and we have started meditation, you just can't switch off everything around you or everything inside you. So, the moment you try to sit first, yes, the mind will do its job. The mind will throw a lot of thoughts at you because that was what you have been doing 24/7. So the moment you start sitting silently, you better hold on to a thought or an object. So object may be anything, a form, and a thought is the right thought. So the more you concentrate, the more you try to that manana part of the right thought, that will slowly slow down the mind, because the mind itself gives you a lot of thoughts, and this thought also is a thought given by the mind. So which thought you will hold on to, that will grow. And whatever thought, it can be, suppose I constantly think about my son, that is the thought which grows. I constantly think about the self, that is the thought which grows. So the mind is a powerful tool which can be used either outside or inside. So the same tool should be sharpened in a way that, because we have tremendous power inside us, where we can use the same intellect of the mind to hold on to the right thought. And one good thing about what Prabhuji was saying is, instead of becoming silent suddenly, you hold on to that good thought. Good thought is the right thought, where I am the self. So if we clearly understand that what all we are holding on to, is it really worth it? Is it worth? We have hold on to, suppose we are around 40 years old, we have held on to something or the other all this 40 years. What of that remains? Does anything remain the same? Everything has changed. So there is one thing, if you close your eyes or open your eyes and say, I was there, I am here, I will be there. There is some inherent part of you which is unchanging. Even you are changing. Whenever there is a situation outside or a person outside which changes, obviously you go with the flow. You will have to change. So you will not hold on to yourself also, the false self, the pseudo self. So you will hold on to that one right thing, which is always there, always has been there. So that is the right thought to hold on to. So let the thoughts come, let the thoughts go. But the same thought, yes, there may be 100 thoughts, but the 101th thought should be, I am not all this. Or rather, this may feel more convenient to think that, is it worth to hold on to those thoughts? Because we have had a lot of experience personally in our own lives. So instead of, spiritually thinking of an Upanishad, something which really strikes us very hard is it worth? Is it worth? Because everything is changing. So that was what I felt, that let the thoughts come. But okay, do we need to really think hard about anything of that? It will happen. Whatever is happening will anyway happen. You can't stop it. You can't force anything to happen. You can't force your own mind to shut. So obviously something which you are not able to control, even the mind is not you, the thoughts are not you, let them come, let them go. But there is one thought that will, actually help you hold on to your reality. So other than reality, it is like every movie is a fiction. We watch movies. So when we watch movies, what are we entertained about? Nothing of that is true.
So the whole value of the Vedantic thought, any other thought leads you into analysis. It gets you into judgment. So for example, the moment you say, okay, what is the value of something? So the mind starts getting into, okay, what is the value? How do I measure the value? Whereas a Vedantic thought opens up the silence, because there is nothing to analyze there. So I am existence, and the object I'm seeing is existence. And if you look at the thought, whatever the thought that is coming, it would be usually of an object. So what is the essence of that object? Existence. So that is the Vedantic thought that has to be brought back. Even in that object, even in that, it could be a past memory, it could be a present object that I'm experiencing. Even in that object, existence is the reality. So then mind naturally becomes silent, because I am existence is of the nature of silence. The worry is the object that is coming in the mind. But that is not a worry, because even the object that is coming in the mind is existence only. And that is the essence of today's meditation. Bahir nididhyasa. Whatever I'm experiencing, even with my eyes open, it is existence only.
And I feel the only thought which really gives us peace, see, whatever we are doing initially is to attain peace. So we are trying to calm the mind, we are trying to control the senses, or we are trying to meditate. All this is to attain peace. So the one thought or the one understanding which really gives us peace is that we are our pure self. So the moment the understanding totally seeps in that we are not any of this, at the same time, whatever is there is the self. So these are two different thoughts, which ultimately is one. First we think I am Shiva, Shivoham. And then we come to the thought that Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman, that is everything is Brahman. So initially we try to go inside saying that I am the self and all that is existence is the self. Slowly we come to an understanding that everyone is, if you look into the intrinsic nature of every person, it is the same consciousness which is there all pervading throughout. A bird, a tree, the sun, the moon, I, all this has one thing in common, that is the pure consciousness. So I think when we hold on to that one right thought consistently, I think we are more peaceful.
Thank you, Satyaji. How
But
about
today, I think one thought that helped me today was thinking that I am infinite. Whenever I found that some thoughts were coming, I was saying I am infinite. So I think that is something which my mind doesn't understand yet, right? It doesn't know the limits of what to bring in. So I felt that was one thought that was actually helping to calm. Like how Prabhuji was saying that I am eternal. Those are things that you have not experienced in any way through your senses. So I think that is where the mind was able to calm down a lot.
excellent, excellent. How about Shubhaji? What is Shubhaji's experience?
Initially, it was very calm. Then, as lot of thoughts started coming in, so that is when I got distracted. So couldn't sit for the whole time. But yeah, initially when I was doing it, it was very calm.
Very nice, very nice.
But when you got thought, you were not able to go back to the Shabda part to.
Too many things started coming in.
So basically, you got carried away in the thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that sometimes. Yeah, the moment we get, if I get attached, that's it. I don't realize how long I have drifted away. Yeah, but I think that Shabda part, at some point of time, I think we need to catch hold and come back.
Yes. Today I couldn't.
Okay.
Because the tendency of the mind is to limit to the outside form. Because mind needs something to hold on to. Whereas the existence, so even in the object that is coming in the mind, the truth is existence. That is what we need to recollect and go back to. Then even that object will stop bothering. It may be an object from the memory, it may be some sound that is coming right now, or it may be a visual sight that is coming right now. Even that is existence, is the Vedantic thought. Sri Charanji, how about you?
Yes, Vijayji. So yeah, the mind has become very silent, and for a while I became very peaceful. I think doing meditation and Nididhyas in the morning is a great way to start the day early in the morning, and it peaces our mind and it helps us concentrate on one thing at a time. So that is my
Experience today. Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. So, are there any other questions or anything else anybody wants to share? All right.
Sir, I just had one question.
Yes, Shubhaji.
Regarding the discussion we started in the morning.
Yeah.
See, it's all God's will, we say, no?
Yeah.
So, but doesn't that lead to inaction from our end?
Not necessarily, right? When you say God's will, then even this instrument is a God's will, part of the God's will. Then what is the feeling that is coming in this instrument in that moment? What is the right action that has to be performed through this instrument, which is part of the God's will? So the incorrect understanding is that God's will means that this instrument will remain inert. How come? This is also part of the God's will. What is this instrument? What is the feeling that is coming in this instrument? Imagine when somebody is hurt in front of you, what is the natural feeling that comes in? When we do not use too much of our thinking part of the mind, what is the feeling that is naturally there in anybody? Take a little child. If somebody is hurt and crying, that little child will want to go and do something. Maybe just, put a hand and whatever little thing that it knows. So has anybody taught how to behave that little child? So this instrument is also God's will. But this instrument now, because of the programming, it is now trying to analyze the thinking and is not able to act in that moment. What is the right action? So God's will doesn't mean an inaction. God's will means that what is the right action to be performed. And that's why the intellect is given. It has to filter out. Various kinds of thoughts will come. What is the right action to perform in this moment? God's will means that feeling has come. Somebody is fallen in front of me. Okay, a feeling of helping has come. But am I capable of helping? Okay, is this a medical situation? What is the situation? What is the right action to perform? There, this mind has to still function. No, this intellect has to still function. It has to see what is the right action. Should I call somebody, or can I go and lift this person, or what is that I need to do?
Literally, you have to do what you are supposed to do. Other things you have to just leave it. That's it.
In any situation of life, that is all that is possible for you, isn't it? What is that you can do in this given moment? So, for example, let's say yesterday one of my friend was speaking to me. One of his very close relative mother died due to COVID, and that relative and one of his brother were the only two people who could be at funeral. None of the other close relatives could be at the funeral, because all others, including my friend who I was talking to, had one or the other COVID related situation or other very critical situation at home. See, death is a situation where typically we say all the relatives and the friends come together. Now my friend was expressing, I felt a total lack of, how I can help. But in that moment, all I could do was that, I could offer my best wishes, best feelings, best prayers to the deceased, saying that let them attain the Sadgati, and to the family to have whatever the necessary strength to remain calm and peaceful in this situation. So like that, some situations are like that. But even that feeling that, I am with them is a very, existence means what? Existence means there is no separation. There is no separation. There is no you and me. The you and me is in the mind. So when there is no separation, it's like your baby. Your son or your daughter, you always feel the proximity. You always feel that bonding, whether they're physically right now with you or somewhere else. And that is something that is not taught to you. It is very, very natural. And that is the way you are with other things also, until we start learning through the society. If a little child is let to be the way it naturally is, little child has no such boundaries. Little child likes everything, loves everything, is very caring and kind towards everything. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. That example, actually, it is the same example I was looking for. That was what was happening. So I can say that it's not inaction from my end when I say that. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So the other.
I feel, Vijayji, I mean, for free will or my will, previously Prabhuji answered the same thing. Like, see, the whole purpose of we being given a body. I mean, I have a body which is an instrument. So the question of free will or my will, are we have to treat ourselves as daily wage workers for God. So a worker, he goes to the boss in the morning, he takes the work, by evening he delivers the work. That is what he does. As he is doing his work, he may feel that he is doing it. There is free will. But is there free will? Do we have a choice? I don't think we have a choice. Whatever, now my life situation may be different from your life situation. So whatever is there in my hand, obviously I will have to act on it. If inaction is possible, please do. But inaction is not always possible. So we will do whatever best is possible at the time. It is not that we are fully informed of everything, we are fully knowledgeable, we are intellectual, nothing like that. Whatever is best possible from our side, we keep doing it. The result is not in our hands. So there we call it, it is God's will. Because we just have to do it and offer it as a prayer to God, because it has been given to us by God. As Prabhuji says, do we know how many liters of blood is flowing, or how do we know, are we able to operate our heart on our own? Oxygen which is freely available outside is the one reason why people are dying now. So are we able to do anything? So the mere fact that we are not able to do anything, everything is out of our control, is difficult to accept. But it is difficult to accept not by us, it is by the mind. The ego, which always says that I am the doer, has a sort of feeling that yes, I can do even that. But do we really have a choice? We are doing a lot of things. How many of them have been successful and how many have not been? So the result is never in our hands. Whatever work is given to me today morning, from today morning dawn to dusk, I will do it and offer it as a prayer to God. The result, whatever will happen, is God's will. So that is the only way we can look at anything.
Yeah. Inaction means clarity that I am not the doer. When I say I am not the doer, who is that I? The ego. Inaction means that ego which wants to come and claim I am the doer is not the doer. That's all. When ego is kept aside, then this instrument will function very naturally. That's why the child is a great example. A little child instinctively from within knows the right thing to do in any given situation, unless otherwise it is a grown-up situation. I'm talking about existential situations. I'm not talking about societal made-up situations. So like that, I am not the doer is a sense of inaction. The ego, it's a ego which wants to come and claim I am doing it, and I am responsible for it, and I am the one who has to get the fruit. If it is something that I'm doing as a work for some fruit. So that has to be kept aside. Then there is no inaction actually. See existence, there is constant movement. Inaction doesn't mean lack of movement. Inaction means I am existence. In I am existence, is there a movement? Zero movement. I am consciousness. Is there a movement? Zero movement. But how does I am existence is expressing as the bird chirping, as the wind moving, as the leaf blowing. So constant movement. So 0 to infinity. So 0 to infinity. In 0, absolute stillness. That's why another example you may want to bring up is the fan. At the dead center of the fan, absolute stillness. As you keep moving to the other parts of the fan, there is so much of movement. So inaction and action are not too separate. They're not too distinct. Inaction and action means that I am existence and I'm consciousness, and in the world it expresses. Or to bring to mind another example of Hanuman, Hanuman was asked, what is your relationship to Rama? When I'm functioning in the world, how do I function? If I'm functioning as a separate mind and ego, as a separate mind and body, then I'm a servant of Rama. Whatever I'm doing is a service to Rama. So if I have the separateness feeling, then I'm just a servant of Rama. That helps the ego to dissolve, because I am not the doer. That helps the ego to dissolve. I'm a servant of Rama. Then as I start sitting in meditation, and as I gradually am becoming silent, I start becoming closer to Rama. I find Rama in my heart. In Samadhi, neither I nor Rama are two. So 0 to infinity. Any other points? Shall we close for the day?
Vijayji, one more point I liked in yesterday's class.
Yeah.
Was that Prabhuji was saying that, see, we have one choice. We can act from our vasanas or we can act from our consciousness. So the moment you start understanding that we are consciousness and do everything for a higher purpose, higher cause, then I think the karma, all the accumulated karma also starts dissipating. So this is one thing I liked in yesterday's class. Maybe that will help us see every moment we are doing some or the other action. There are certain things we are doing just subconsciously. There need not be a thought process to it. But there are things we are stuck up, like should we do this or should we do this? The only way, I mean, this may not be related to what we were speaking just now, but the only way we can act is either from our vasanas or from our consciousness. So this sudden shift to consciousness is not possible. But the moment we always, deeply hold on to the fact that I am pure consciousness, when anything I do out of that awareness consciously, I think that will give more peace to us. Anyway, the result is not in our hands. It may be a success or a failure. Anyway, that is not in our hands, and that is not something we have to ponder. But how we act, it can be through our vasanas. See, we have a lot of impressions which we have taken birth with. Like, it may be even through our routine activities, we have hatred or love or jealousy. So how we act or how we react, if we can just ponder on, am I acting from my consciousness? Am I fully aware of what I am doing? I think that is the only one which is in our hands and we have a choice.
Right. Seva and Jnana go hand in hand. When I function in the world, Seva attitude is the only attitude with which the intellect starts getting purified. Seva means what? No expectations, for the benefit of the others. That is what Seva means. All right. So, Sri Charanji, can we end with the Mahamrityunjaya mantra? Are you there, Sri Charanji?
Yes, Vijayji.
Okay. So, again, the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, why we are ending with that is for the benefit of all the people who are currently suffering from COVID. May all of them heal and may their families also find the health. With that intention, let us chant it 3 times. So Sri Charanji, you please stand and we will repeat after you.
Om Trayambakam
Om Trayambakam
Yajamahe
Yajamahe
Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam
Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam
Urvarukamiva Bandhanan
Urvarukamiva Bandhanan
Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat.
Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat.
Om Trayambakam
Om Trayambakam
Yajamahe
Yajamahe
Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam
Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam
Urvarukamiva Bandhanan
Urvarukamiva Bandhanan
Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat.
Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat.
Om Trayambakam
Om Trayambakam
Yajamahe
Yajamahe
Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam
Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam
Urvarukamiva Bandhanan
Urvarukamiva Bandhanan
Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat.
Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat.
We worship the three-eyed one who is fragrant and who nourishes all. Like the fruit falls off from the bondage of the stem, may we be liberated from death, from mortality. Lokaha samasta
Lokaha samastaha
Sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino bhavantu.
Lokaha samasta
Lokaha samastaha
Sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino bhavantu.
Lokaha samasta
Lokaha samastaha
Sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino bhavantu.
May all beings be happy, healthy, and peaceful. Hari.
Thank you very much, Sri Charanji.
Thank you, thank you.
Hari Om to all the Atma Jyotis. See you next Sunday. Next Sunday, we will continue the contemplation of day 4 video. Yeah?
Thank you.
All right.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.